You are listening to Confessions of a Counselor podcast with Janice, mental health in bite-sized chunks. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Confessions of a Counselor. I'm your host, Janice, and in today's episode, I thought we would talk about skills and tools that we can use in order to help us with emotional regulation. So let's jump right in. So last time we were kind of talking about what is upregulating and downregulating. So when we look at our baseline feeling, that's kind of where we want to be. That's where we can spend the most time. It's the easiest place to kind of regulate in when we're not knocked out of our window. And then we can go into hyper arousal, which is those anxiety, anger, joy, excitement, even those are those hyper arousal. So those activating feelings. And then we can go down into hypo arousal, which is that depression, apathy, sadness. And that's bringing us down, deactivating us. And so when we're down, then we want to upregulate to baseline. And when we're up, we want to downregulate to baseline. So I thought we would talk about just a couple of my kind of go-to skills that help us in terms of regulation. So these are not new. We've talked about them in other episodes, but I thought we kind of tie it all together in this episode today. So the general tools that I always use are cold. So using cold splash water on our face, hold an ice cube, right? This kind of regulates us no matter if we're up or down. Breathing can help us whether we're up or down, but we're going to do different breathing depending on that. And so if I'm feeling activating, I'm going to want to use a calming breath. So those deep, slow breaths. Right? Those deep, slow breaths. If I'm in hypoarousal, then I'm going to want to use an activating breath. So that's like a little bit more of a panting breath, like a and that kind of helps us to activate our energy to help bring us up. So again, we can use breathing in either one, but we're just going to use different breath in order to achieve what we want in either down-regulating when we're coming from hyper-arousal or up-regulating when we're coming from hypo-arousal. And the last one is shaking our body out. So again, we can shake our body out when we're perhaps feeling anxious or even excited, and that's going to kind of calm our bodies down. But it's also an activating behavior that if we can get up out of bed and kind of just try and shake a little bit, right? Just move our arms, move our legs, that might help us feel better. Or even if you can't get up out of bed, right? If the depression feels really low or the apathy feels really low, can you just shake your arms where you are? So these three tools, the cold, breathing, and movement, can help us to regulate. So these are the skills that I kind of come back to constantly because one of the three typically works when it comes to emotionally regulating. So one of these three, most of my clients can kind of identify with and find it really helpful. If not, two or three of them really help them. So this is something that I kind of use in general. And then again, we can get more specific in terms of kind of coming down from hyperarousal and up from hypoarousal. So the next two episodes, I'll talk about those specifics in terms of hypo and hyperarousal. Okay, until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Confessions of a Counselor podcast is available anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts, both on Apple and Android. New episodes are released every Friday. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to join the conversation, leave a review, or subscribe to the podcast hosted on Spotify. You can find all these details on janicelyons.com. Until next time, take care.